What's going on, y'all? It's Jason with Reviews here, back at it again with another video. And as you guys can see by the title, we got another top 5 performances coming your way. And this one, we are doing the top 5 Tsu Surf Performances. Now, obviously, this is in light of one of the big announcements. Tsu Surf versus JC is the main event for Summer Madness. I have done JC's top 5 performances before, and now I thought it would be a good time. I've been wanting to do Surf's top 5, but I thought now, was the perfect time to release it. Kind of leading up to what we're going to get with Summer Madness. Obviously, he's had this, you can call it a second wind or just a great patch of his career, but you could debate that we've been getting some of the best Tsu Surf that we've ever gotten, and that, that might be somewhat reflected on the list, but very clean. At times he's struggled with choking and consistency, but extremely clean, extremely thorough, very good from a pen dynamic. Obviously, now with this chain punching, the AMG mode, as he has phrased it for himself, he was already an electric performer, and now it's could be on a bar-to-bar basis if he's hitting. So a lot of great things about Tsu Surf at this current time. So I thought we'd go back and after all these Tsu Surf battles that get talked about, what do I think are the most important? Which one do I think are the best? And here I'll just list the 5 that all stem from level of comp. There is some impact involved. Obviously, there are going to be some bigger name battles, but it's not all based on that. I like to base it on quality of material, and level of competition means a lot to me. And then the stage kind of goes in there with impact. The bigger the stage might find its way on here. But as I usually do with my top 5s, I'm going to start out with just a few honorable mentions, and then we're going to go right into the top 5. As I said, we start out here with honorable mentions. I have 3 honorable mentions. Try to keep it limited here because you get to listen to them. I can end up having 7 honorable mentions when you talk about Hall of Famers of this magnitude, like a Tsu Surf. But first honorable mention I want to get out of the way is actually not a single surf battle. It is Gun Titles versus NWX Part 1. Now, I've said it multiple times to this channel, I'm not super big into 2-on-2s. I don't really cover them. I don't put too much stock into them. So it's different for me to have this here, but obviously this was one of the most impactful 2-on-2s ever, and it's only about half a battle. As you know, Gun Titles was getting NWX all the way out of here before the shot, after the shot. Plenty of great quotables, the wrestling scheme. I mean, you could go on and on for the bars here, but with this level of dominance, even though it was a 2-on-2, it was a moment in time, and I feel like when you look at these all-time performances up until recently, Surf didn't secure that many bodies or clear wins. Obviously, a critique has always been he has too many debatables, which I think is silly. They throw that on a few battlers. Even though I do think there is things to critique in Surf's career, I think too many debatables has always just been a little bit silly to me. But with this one, dominant, only half a battle, so just first honorable mention, but too important for me not to mention it. And then as for the last 2 here, I have Tsu Surf versus Twerk. Now, Twerk showed up Volume 9, choking, didn't give his great performance. So the level of comp, you could even say, even though the name Twerk holds weight, we all know that it's wishy-washy depending on the actual individual performance. But Surf's own performance, this battle is what gets it here. Volume 9, even though it wasn't really a volume, there was a crowd. Really the epitome of this AMG mode, this chain-punching era of Surf. The Rolling Loud bar, which was obviously fantastic. Ray's Boom Boom Room. I paint pictures with this AR Twerk and all of this, the flow that led up to that. You see a lot of pure rapping. Ran it back a lot, which I know some people aren't a fan of, but the material was extremely just potent. And that whole recent run at the end of 2021, you could debate that just bar for bar wise, probably the best bar for bar performance in terms of just his own material. But obviously 3-0 body, even though the comp wasn't fighting back heavy, I don't want to ignore the great material that Surf brought, which is what lands it here. And then as for the last honorable mention, kind of the 6th man to this, what could have made it, Tsu Surf versus K-Shine on Summer Madness 1. Handheld mics definitely adds a strange dynamic if you're new to battle rap, but K-Shine obviously being the performer he is, and the first round he had this battle, angling Surf, Asia Dean. For those of you that have been around for a while, you know that Shine's first versus Surf was a problem, and he clearly took the first versus Surf, and it looked like might even clearly take the battle with having that dominant of a first round win, but Tsu Surf was able to do his rare pivot and actually rebuttal in the second round, rebuttal the Asia Dean angle, and went on to take the second and the third pretty clear versus K-Shine. Great battle. And one of the for early on Surf, one of those clear wins that's been here for rolling up on almost a decade now, maybe a little over a decade actually since this battle. And this has been one of those signature clear wins that Surf had early in his career that even to this day still stands the test of time. Like I said, bounces back great with a rebuttal in the second and is able to just kind of punch out and out-rap Shine for the second and third, even after going down a dominant 1-0. First Summer Madness, level of competition with K-Shine, so many things that go into it, but it just missed my list. It does round up the honorable mentions, the top of the honorable mentions, and now without further ado, let's get into the top 5 Tsu Surf performances of all time. So starting off with number 5 in this list, we have Tsu Surf versus X Factor on Gnome 1. So Summer Madness 1 just misses the list, but Surf's first Gnome performance on the first Gnome ever, it takes the first spot, the number 5 spot here. And what it comes down to is just a certain level of impact and so many quotables that come from this. Obviously, it's a flawless 3-round Surf performance in terms of he got through his material clean. Performance was on a 100, opens up with the Midwest movement scheme, which, to this day, we all know, super famous, super well-known, and just a staple in battle rap. And just outbars X, gets plenty of haymakers to pick from here. If we 4 deep, that's 49ers, San Fran. If we 40 deep, that's 49ers, San Fran. Another fire bar to come from this. But another thing to add is X Factor A around this time was very respected. I know now X Factor's kind of phased out of battle rap, but there was a time that he was in competition for best in the Midwest. You can even say after Gnome 2, after him versus Verb, he might have had a claim for the best in the Midwest at that point in time. But Gnome 1, actually a pretty decent X Factor. Still some bars that didn't make sense. Always been a part of his style. I'm not saying thank you when I send you to... I'm not saying gracias when I send you to hell. Oh, that didn't make sense. That didn't make any sense, X Factor. But a bar I always like to joke on. But Tsu Surf's performance here, the beginning of performing being a humongous part of battle rap, obviously with the first Gnome. This is when they start touching the big stages. And then the Midwest scheme, so many things. I had Tsu Surf Gentleman's 30 in this battle against a pretty good X Factor. And even though this was early in his career, there were some performances a little more, of a honed-in, confident Tsu Surf in a style, a little more experienced. This X Factor performance is one of the first genuine clear wins that got Surf off the ground and had people realizing he was going to be a superstar in this game. So Tsu Surf versus X Factor, number 5 in the list. And that segues us right into number 4 in the list. One of the more classic battles that Tsu Surf has in his catalog, and this is Tsu Surf versus Conceited. A battle that I love, the change of setting, them not having it the original venue they were going to, and having to have it kind of as like a one-off makes this battle even better in my opinion when you have a pure puncher like Khan, and one of the better bar-for-bar battles Surf probably has here. You are in the middle of that. I call these a paranormal activities. Some of the better just double entendres that Surf has, and this battle has gotten to age over time. Obviously, Khan was looked at as the best puncher back then. And one thing about Conceited's material is as time goes on, especially when you're a puncher and the level of writing goes up, it can be looked at like your material ages poorly. And newer fans or fans that weren't there when it happened just look back and say, well, this isn't good as the nowadays stuff. So Surf won clear. I do personally have Surf winning the battle. I believe I have him edging the first 2 rounds. But the thing about this is that at the time, obviously, super duper classic. It's a stamp classic in terms of back and forth. One of the few battles, in my opinion, that you could debate that all 6 rounds are great to amazing. That happens only so often in battle rap. Everybody calls things classics, but this for me, quality-wise and impact-wise, is in the classic genre. No matter who you have winning, obviously, like I said, the materials kind of age better in Surf's favor, but the you are in the middle of that, pass the Glock to Fox, and then what? All these, he brings comedy, he brings performance, and he brings the hard-hitting haymakers and double entendres. One of the more complete performances from Surf. Obviously, when you have comp like Conceited in his prime, that helps to elevate the case, which is why I have Tsu Surf versus Conceited as the 4th best performance in Tsu Surf's career. And with the 4 and 5 spots out of the way, we can now get into the top 3 battles, in my opinion, of Tsu Surf's career. And here at number 3 to kick off the top 3, one that some may agree, some may disagree, but I have Tsu Surf versus John Dodon on SM11 just this past year. And this battle kind of opened up what looks to be a new chapter. Now we're also well into this new chapter, as I call it, of Surf's career. But ever since this John battle, it's no secret, Surf has been winning battles clear. This clip of John, Cal, Twerk, Cortez, and now the JC plate coming up, even though I do think this is JC some of the best comps Surf is facing in a minute. That's a whole other thing, though. I'm going to be doing the SM predictions when the whole card's out, so that's when I'll be speaking on that battle. And anywhere on Twitter, you might see me speak about it a little bit, but I'm going to save my in-depth details for that up until I do a full prediction video for the card. But on to what we're talking about here, Tsu Surf versus John. I'm not going to say that Surf was the heavy underdog that some Surf fans might claim he was. There was definitely a lot of people against him, and I'd say it was about 50-50 split on the polls leading up to this battle. Some slightly in John's favor, some slightly in Surf's. And this comes down to the fact, obviously, coming off the 40 bars battle and the Loaded Lux battle, people were not believing in Surf, that he had love for the game. He might have lost his motivation. And that led to a lot of people looking at John, who is a strategist, who is good at kind of sneaking wins, to maybe come here and go against an unmotivated Surf, maybe break him down and use some angles, and that did not happen. This was a 3-0. It's not a body in your opinion. It's very close. In my opinion, it is a body. It won Performance of the Year last year on the champion panel. Once again, I don't think it was the Performance of the Year in 2021, but it did win that award, so we're going to recognize it as that. And it was at least in that conversation, in my opinion, even though I would have chose a different performance. But a clear 3-0 on Summer Madness already means a lot. And when you look at the predicament and the situation Surf was in, coming back, people were kind of down on him. That plays into it. And his material was just great. Bees over the body like Candyman. He had the John, the 316s. That there's going to be some bullets forever in me, Johnny. There's some rounds I still can't get out. Haymakers, very confident in his performance. This is my shit. Walking around the stage fully confident. And, you know, it's hard to critique a Tsu Surf right now because of performances like this where he's had recently, where somebody was chasing him for a minute. I feel like Surf for a while avoided some really good top-tier rec, and then he does take a John, and he absolutely wipes the floor with him, so you got to give credit where credit's due. 30, Summer Madness, how it was viewed by the people, the way it started up this second wind of his career. These are all reasons of why I have Tsu Surf versus John as number 3 on this list. And then up for the runner-up spot for the best performance in Surf's career, I have probably the most popular in a lot of people's opinions. This might be number 1, but I have Tsu Surf versus Hitman, Summer Madness 4. The most viewed battle in URLs on their entire channel, so the impact is there. You have competition like Hitman Holla, in my opinion, one of the top 5 battlers of all time. Can't see him being outside of that list for me. And you have a situation here where Surf has probably the best round of his career with his 3rd round. Obviously, the real talk, the raw rock, China getting smacked down, press 9. Even if you're new to battle rap, these are usually rounds that people are introduced to battle rap by. Surf's one of the best real talk rounds in the history of battle rap. And then to address the rest of the battle, Hitman, very similar to the Shine battle versus Surf that we talked about in the honorable mentions, Hitman has a legendary first round and goes up a pretty dominant 1-0. Surf kind of jerseys out of his first. It's a little bit weird. So Surf, this battle, Hitman was actually up a clear and, very dangerous 1-0. Looked like Hitman might roll into this battle and take it. That's just how good his first round was. But in the second, Hitman has a dip, while Tsu Surf definitely steps it up bar for bar quality. Hala, Pino, head to the fucking wall. Possibly the best round bar from Tsu Surf in the second round, as well as the G Baby. So some very good haymakers that had him taking the second clear and then levels up. Even though Hitman's 3rd wasn't that bad, Tsu Surf's 3rd is extremely legendary, top tier, which leads to him getting a 2-1 win clear on Hitman on Summer Madness. I don't even really think I have to say much more than that to explain why this is so high up on the list. The only other argument I think most people would have is that it's at 1 because the impact is absolutely incredible. But there is one more battle where I just think from first round to 3rd, there was better quality. Like I said, didn't really enjoy Surf's first in this battle. He got kind of smoked in it. And there's one battle that just reigned supreme. So at the number 2 spot, Tsu Surf versus Hitman Holla. And that leads us, like I said, into the number 1 spot. What battle do I think is better? And at my number 1 spot for the best performance in Tsu Surf's career, I have Tsu Surf versus Geechee Gotti on Gnome 9. Very similar to the Con battle. This is a back-and-forth classic. This falls more on the classic side than it does on the body bag side. And it's just one of the best battles, in my opinion, of all time. As time has went on, it's weird because I think you really can debate Geechee getting the first and the third. I think it's very debatable, but at the same time, a lot of people just have gravitated towards Tsu Surf's material in this. Very real, very personable. His second round, breaking down his resume compared to what he was doing in the streets, is one of the more creative concepts he's ever had. Very incredible. And even his first and the third round, I'd say the Martin scheme in the third round is a little even though it got a lot of reaction, but even then his third is amazing. The round that I gave to Gotti was the third, but I had Surf edging the first two rounds. And the first is the closest it gets, but the use a bitch, screaming, the way he flipped use a bitch on Geechee, very similar to the John performance. People were not believing in Surf like that, had been choking a lot. And then to take Geechee, who was on fire in the middle of his Champion of the Year runs, and to take him on that level on Gnome, and in some people's opinions, get a gentleman's 30 on one of the best Geechee Gottis ever. That speaks for itself. It did millions of views on YouTube, not that of maybe a Hitman or some other battles he has, but just from first to third, I think all three rounds here are amazing. With Surf, there's some inconsistencies where you always can't say that, but here you definitely can. A near flawless performance. I would have to nitpick like I did with the scheme right there to say anything else, but the best battle on the best card of all time, in my opinion, for me. That's why I have Tsu Surf versus Geechee Gotti as the best Surf performance in his career. And that will wrap it up here for my top 5 performances of Tsu Surf's career. You guys let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe, but especially comment down below and let me know if there's any that you think I missed on this list that you think deserve to be up there. Obviously, Surf's had a storied career. I could see an argument. Someone might want to mention the Bricks battle, even though it was a one-rounder. Obviously, one of the more dominant victories in Surf's career has always been addressed that way. Or if you think maybe his Cal battle, which, level of comp, I would say bar for bar, he's had better performances, but to get back on Cal, I know that was a very, a big head to mount on the wall for him, especially since Cal got him the first time in Jersey. So if there's any other battles that you can think of that you would change around, let me know. Let me know how you feel about the list. I enjoy making these top 5s and saluting the history. And I think sometimes we critique guys in the moment or we praise them in the moment, and it's good to dive in the history books and remember exactly why, even down to the rounds, why they're the elite battlers that we celebrate to this day, and why, even after a decade in the game, we have Tsu Surf headlining Summer Madness 12 versus JC. Like I said earlier in the video, Summer Madness 12, I'll be doing that. Rock Swamp, JC Surf, and whatever else comes out. Once the full card is out, that's when I will release my prediction video. And similar to Gnome, I'm going to have a lot of different content based specifically on the event of Summer Madness, some more history-based stuff. I know that we've gotten away from that recently, but we're going to dive really hard back into that for Summer Madness. So if you love that about this channel, that's going to be there. But big fan of Tsu Surf, reason I put this video together, and I cannot wait to see what him and JC are able to perform for us on September 24th. I should be in the building. I'm not 100% yet. I should be in the building, though, in Charlotte. Shout out to the hometown. Yeah, guys, but look out for content, in the very soon future. Like I said, Summer Madness stuff and a lot of stuff based around the battlers, whoever's announced in that card, spotlight some of them and, celebrate them for their achievement on getting on such a big card. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.